The culture says, shoot your shot. I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot now. I'm just here to tell you, do not chase him. You don't want to find yourself doom scrolling on the page, stalking the page, looking at their following list. The last thing that you want to do is create a fantasy in your head. And when that fantasy meets reality, everything crumbles. And don't we just love a good old crush? The feeling of liking somebody and just thinking about them all the time. You want to be around them for as much as you can. You blush when you hear their names. The butterflies in your stomach start fluttering when they walk past you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Culture says a lot about how to deal with crushes and just dating in general. And there's some things that I've personally seen where I'm kind of like, I'm gonna kind of push against what culture says in regards to that. So specifically with crushes, and if you're a Christian watching this, this is also for you as well. While crushes can be fun, one thing I do want to warn you is please don't let it consume you, okay? You can have a crush, you can like somebody, all right, that's all good and fine, but don't let it consume you. I hear a lot of people, and we hear it in the song sometimes too, like, I can't stop thinking about you, you always on my mind, what am I gonna do without you? I need you in my life, you're the center of my door. Like when it gets to that point, when it starts turning obsessive, that's when we start running into issues. And I think the lie behind that too is that if you can't stop thinking about this person, if they're constantly on your mind and you're constantly seeing signs, and wonders of them and you guys getting married, that means that they're the one. And I'm gonna have to pump the brakes on that and say, stop. I would honestly combat that and say that the truth is that when you are in a situation where you are constantly thinking about somebody to the point where you are obsessed and it is interfering with your everyday life, my friend, you have slipped into limerence. At this point, it's beyond just like an innocent, oh, he's cute, or oh, I like him. Now it's like interfering with your peace. It's interfering with your goals and with what God has you to do right now. Yeah, please. If it's gotten to that point, I'm gonna say I'm preaching to the choir because I have at once been that person, but thank God for growth, thank God for wisdom, and thank God for maturity. Don't let it consume you, because once you let it consume you and really take over your thought life, you actually tend to start doing things and taking action on things that might do more harm than good. What do I mean by that? A lot of times when you are obsessing over a guy, subconsciously, it may not even be conscious, but subconsciously, you might actually start trying to chase and pursue them. The culture says, shoot your shot. I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot now. That's like the new thing. Shoot your shot. You need to take this opportunity now, because if you don't, you're gonna miss it. And this, that, and the third. Now, disclaimer, I'm not saying that you can't just say hello or just, strike up a conversation. There's a difference between like just introducing yourself or being friendly and cordial and like trying to chase and pursue. I'm gonna just say, for me, in my personal experience, at least with what happened to me, as well as what I've seen happen to other people, every time that the girl has pursued the guy or chased after the guy, it's almost kind of like, even if they did catch him at one point, it never lasted. One thing that I've learned specifically is that we are designed to be found. We're not really designed to do the chasing. We're not really designed to do the pursuing. I'm saying pursuing, again, let me reiterate, I'm not saying you can't say hello, be friendly. But when it comes to like constantly chasing him, don't chase him, okay? I'm here to tell you, if you don't take anything else from this video, I'm just here to tell you, do not chase him. Because at the end of the day, men really do like to pursue, they do like to hunt, so let them take care of that. I also believe that if a man is truly interested in you, he will make some level of effort. But if you have to be at a point where you are having to beg him for any kind of attention, if you feel like you have to like bend over backwards to impress him or audition, changing your hair, changing the way you walk, doing things that you don't like only because he likes them, that is a sign, my friend, you just need to kind of like step back right there, okay? Check yourself and really just look and ask why you're doing that. Don't chase him. Stop. One scripture that I always keep in mind, and I will tell you, is Proverbs 18:22. He that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Keyword, he. Dealing with crushes, honestly, it doesn't even matter if you're like a teenager or a full-grown adult. I think, especially as believers, because of what we know as far as like guarding our hearts, guarding our minds, you know, it can be difficult. So it does take work. But constantly chasing somebody and throwing yourselves at them, you also run the risk of exposing your heart too much. Please, in whatever you do, guard your heart, okay? Now, I think a lot of people hear guard your heart and they think be like self-preservation, like have a wall up, be cold-hearted, you know, be miserable and bitter, etc. But really, guarding your heart, I would say in regards to this, would just mean being cautious and being selective of, you know, what you share, what you do, and also setting necessary boundaries. Don't give so much of your heart and of your love to somebody, especially if they haven't earned it, and especially if there's no commitment. Guarding your heart can look like all kinds of things. Typically, in regard to crushes, it can look something like taking the necessary measures on social media in regard to your crush. So what I have found myself doing in the past, at one point, I kind of like either you can mute or simply unfollow them. I know that sounds kind of like, man, that sounds kind of extreme. Like, why would you do that? I honestly say that because it's a way to like protect my mind. Like when you are constantly being fed something, it's like the more you focus on something, the more it magnifies. Say for example, say like if this person, I don't really know them, but I know of them, I can unfollow. Now, if you're in a position where you know this person, I would just say, just limit your time on the app, whatever app that is. Just limit your time, because you don't want to find yourself doom scrolling on the page, stalking the page, looking at their following list, you know, looking at who liked what, looking at who commented on what, etc. Set that boundary. Guarding your heart could also look like, and I think this is also really important. Remember how I mentioned like limerence and just like constantly thinking about and obsessing over them earlier? Guarding your heart in regard to that can look like not daydreaming about them or a future with them. This trap is very easy to fall into. Very, very easy to fall into. And if you find yourself in that rabbit hole, pull yourself out as soon as you can, because the last thing that you want to do is create a fantasy in your head, okay? And then when that fantasy meets reality, it's kind of like everything crumbles. And I think you hurt your feelings more unnecessarily by doing that. It reminds me of that scripture in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 5. And this scripture talks about taking every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ. And yes, if you find yourself in that, like snap out of it, you know, say a scripture if you have to, say a prayer, or just sometimes just do something else. Do something to like snap yourself out of that, because once you get in that rabbit hole, it is hard to get out of. Again, guarding your heart does not mean be self-preserved and be cold and bitter, and if, you know, they come up to you and say hi, then you can't say hi. I'm not saying that. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Let's not be extreme with this. All I'm saying is you can still guard your heart with your crush by being completely cordial. Like I mentioned earlier, be cordial with them. Say hello. If they talk, have a nice conversation. Don't be desperate, okay? Be yourself, relax. And yeah, because I think sometimes people can tell. I've heard guys say that they can tell when a girl is being desperate, and it's kind of a turn off. So to you right now who's watching this, if you have a crush, it's okay. Don't let it consume you. If you're a girl watching this, don't chase that guy. Don't get desperate. Be friendly and cordial while at the same time guarding your heart. What's one lesson regarding crushes and or dating that you learned that you like to share? Leave it in the comments below. That's all that I have for you today. God bless you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.